Good morning, everyone. Welcome to W2 Solutions webinar this morning on trends in e-commerce in 2021. Just as we wait for more attendees to join, I'll just play a short video on the background. So we'll get started very soon, and we'll have the video just playing in the background as we do get started. Thanks very much.
Are you ready to take the next step to win-win e-commerce? Join over 450 online businesses that have seen an average of 354% growth through partnering with the W2 Cloud Platform Suite. E-commerce is surging, but can your online platforms keep up? Do you have the tools you need to satisfy changing customer demands? And can you add them fast enough? Does expansion mean paying to add new features, integrations, and capabilities? It takes more than software to create powerful e-commerce solutions. It takes partnership. Partnership that builds on 15 years of Japanese innovation to deliver an all-in-one e-commerce platform that does things the way you want them done. All-in-one, but not one-size-fits-all. The flexibility to choose from over 800 tried and tested functions, plus access to dedicated engineering resources to create exactly what you need. 100% in-house development for secure, robust and proven results. W2 offers a partnership that extends beyond the go-live, an e-commerce platform that is not an expense but an investment in success. Not just your investment in sophisticated, personalized experiences that delight your customers, but our investment in your success, supporting you at every step of your customer's journey. Our commitment is to improve every interaction from when a customer reaches your online store to the moment their purchase is delivered. We'll bring everything we've learned from 15 years of enabling e-commerce to ensure your growth. It's not just customer support we provide, but customer success. 450 customers with an average of 354% growth know what that success looks like. Partner with W2 today. It's a win-win.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us if you've joined while that video has been playing. My name is Sean Jones. I'm the UK Head of Sales and Marketing here at W2 Solution. This is the third webinar that we're running and the first of the new year, so thank you for joining us with this as well. Obviously, today we're going to try and look at e-commerce in 2021. What are the trends that we expect to see as part of the year? What can we learn, frankly, from last year? And can we accurately learn from last year being such an interesting year and such a very odd year as far as not only e-commerce but the general scale of the world goes and as general industry trends change. So we'll look at those projected trends for 2021. We'll look at some takeaways as well. Just at the start and the end as well, we'll introduce ourselves if you've not met us before. So who are we? W2 Solution. And we might show you a little bit of our platform just at the end as well. So do stick on there. If there are any questions that come out of today's webinar for you, or indeed anything that comes out of the quick presentation on the platform itself, please do enter them in the chat. I'll see if I can get to them at the end. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of time there at the end as well. So feel free to either message myself or the W2 Global page, which is being run there by Henry Allen, our marketing executive here at W2 in the UK. And with that, we will get started. So thanks for joining again today. So first and foremost, if you've not met us before, who are W2 Solution? W2 Solution is a Japanese e-commerce platform provider. So we moved to the UK last year. However, we're not brand new in that sense. We're a 16-year-old company. We've brought our award-winning technology and customer service mindset with us as well. On average, we love to throw this number out. Our clients have a 354% increase in their sales after migrating their e-commerce platform to us as well. And we very much view ourselves as the best option for bringing success in e-commerce for mid to large manufacturers and brands. Our client's business essentially begins after an order has been received by us and after we build their site. So we have full CMS functionality where we facilitate the build of the website But we don't just facilitate the build and launch of the sites of companies we work with and send them out into the world. We enter the customer success phase afterwards. So we really want to help our customers resolve and grow their e-commerce. Apologies for that. I've just jumped a couple of slides back as well. We want them to grow their e-commerce. We do this through facilitating sales and marketing through our platform, and a really great CRM and customer success function as well to help them foster great ongoing customer relationships. We want to increase essentially repeat purchases. As we saw in some of our previous webinars, the single biggest challenge that faces e-commerce businesses is getting a customer to repeat a purchase. The cost of acquisition of new customers far exceeds the cost of essentially keeping on those same customers. And we really want to help our clients foster those good purchasing habits. So if you'd like to have a conversation after this, we'll have our contact details up at the end about increasing online sales at your company. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us after this webinar. Let's get straight into it in terms of our learnings from 2020. 2020, apart from, I think I was reading the other day, the year 536, is one of the worst years that we can remember from a modern era perspective. And obviously we're still going through this COVID-19 pandemic, which inversely has meant that it's not been the worst year for e-commerce by a very long stretch. E-commerce has profited massively due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's changed the way that many of us now shop generally in terms of our consumer habits, and particularly how we shop online. This was the most pronounced during Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. November and December saw an increase of 144% for the e-commerce industry on essentially what was already incredible growth in the year already. So what does it mean for e-commerce in 2021? Can we accurately describe what e-commerce in 2021 looks like based off the year for 2020? Normally, to predict the future, we look at the past. However, there hasn't been a pandemic like this in recent history, and certainly not in the history of e-commerce. Coming into play in 1997, we just haven't seen anything quite like this before. So right now, we need to look at the here and now. And general predictions at the moment suggest that e-commerce innovation in 2021 will look like what it was predicted to be in 2025. As we saw at the start of the pandemic and with the implementation of lockdowns, US e-commerce growth, which we can see up here, essentially had the equivalent of 10 years predicted growth within a 3-month period. Businesses were able to adopt, and businesses that could adopt to digital quicker were the ones that absolutely were able to capitalize on this far more. According to McKinsey, in 2020, over 75% of US consumers changed their shopping behavior as well. And the top 3 reasons they changed their shopping behavior, and they were searching for a new brand in particular, were the 3 that are listed here. Value, so the value that they perceived they were getting from this new brand. Availability, and which frankly comes into convenience as well. Is it immediately available to me? And then how convenient can I get it myself? This heavily links in with research that says 80% of consumers say that the experience given by a company is as important as the product or service that they are providing. If you attended some of our previous webinars, you also know that this ties in quite well with delivery, and delivery being a big issue and a big, frankly, purchasing point for a lot of consumers as they go to certain companies. Is my item available to be delivered on time? And indeed, what's the cost that goes behind that delivery process as well? Those are some of our learnings from 2020. So how do we apply these, and what trends do we think we'll see more in 2021 as well? This is very much the question that comes out of this. How much can we learn from such a unique year, and what can we predict for e-commerce in 2021? So SearchNode reports that free shipping is one of the trends that has been predicted to creep into the industry much more. This one may be the most obvious. 61% of consumers said that they would leave an online store if delivery costs were too high. Interestingly, this report also shows that consumers are expecting free returns on products and indeed free shipping on those free returns of products. So that's something that will likely be growing in demand in 2021. 59% of respondents claim that they will be offering free returns next year. I should note those respondents, there are e-commerce stores and indeed shipping companies. There's also been a significant rise in the buy now, pay later options. So obviously in the UK, we see this with companies like Klarna, who offer installments over a period of time. The concept of interest-free payments over time as well is significantly increasing. Consumers appreciate the ability to pay over time, and 45% of respondents will be offering financing for their customers next year. Very much just buy now, pay later process. There are many benefits to buy now, pay later options for both retailers, online shop owners, and consumers and customers there as well. They allow customers to spread the cost of items that they might not be able to afford upfront over several weeks or months, depending on the buy now, pay later option. And frankly, depending on the company that you use for that process, not only the company that you use, but also, I guess, the aggressiveness of how much you're willing to trust your consumers, or indeed the interest rates that go into that as well. This can absolutely help increase cart value and result in larger online purchases. Whether or not they're more frequent or not is a different question, and that will be an interesting outcome that I think we'll see of this year as well. Another trend that started in 2020, and you might have noticed this on social media channels, I've particularly noticed this in the past probably 2 or 3 months more on Facebook than it was before. Instagram's had it for a while, but Facebook is very much getting into this, is social shopping, also known as social commerce. Where you might have an official store or an influencer or a football team who are advertising their products, and they have an image. For example, I'm a big Tottenham Hotspur fan, and I'm not sure whether or not I should admit that on this particular call. But if I were to click on an image that Tottenham is showing on Instagram, for example, then up pops the actual kit the players are wearing inside the photo. And if I click on that link, which is essentially a double click off the photo, I'm then taken to the official store. So that immediate direct link with those social media channels and directly with an online store. Many large tech companies have adapted their strategies and turned into the e-commerce market. Primarily, as I mentioned, this is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. These are the big ones so far who have really pushed it. I'm sure we'll see a lot more from Twitter over the coming months as well. But the report that we've been looking at previously as well suggests that 42% of respondents plan to sell through social media next year, whereas a fairly high 33%, 1 in 3 people who sell e-commerce, are still undecided as to whether it's worthwhile selling on social shopping. And I think, again, this very much depends on the generation that you're selling to. As we looked at our Christmas e-commerce webinar, which we hosted, I think, a week or 2 before Christmas, 33% of Gen Z or Gen Z buyers actually adopted the click and collect approach of buying something online, and instead of using the shipping option, which they might have to pay for, were then picking up off the side of the street. While 33% of those consumers were using click and collect, I think it was only 70 or 75% of UK businesses had adopted the click and collect approach. So by that margin, 25% of UK businesses were missing out on 33% of Gen Z sales. So businesses, frankly, need to adopt social shopping and utilize social media. We'll see this particularly with our touch points and our omni-channel approach. We will see this year a huge increase for consumers purchasing through omni-channel. omni-channel, where we've got multiple options and multiple stores or sales channels in which consumers have that ability to purchase. So companies selling with 4 or more sales channels will have a 300% difference with companies selling on only 1 or 2 sales channels. Consumers are far more likely to shop for products across multiple channels within their journey. This can be social media. This can be physically going into a store. This might be going onto the online store. This might be seeing something on Amazon or eBay, where you've got that multiple channel approach. And other channels might include ads, Google Shopping, print media, word of mouth. It's now predicted. We've had this particularly in B2B sales for quite a while, where it was always suggested that around 8 touch points gets a response. From a consumer perspective, from a B2C perspective, it's predicted that a customer will need around 7 touch points in their journey prior to making a purchase. And if I look at my own purchasing habits, I'm very guilty of this, where I will see something pop up on a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. I might see a review of it in something like, the best example for me to use in this scenario is something called Moriarty's Game, where you might have seen popping up on your LinkedIn feed. You're playing against Professor Moriarty throughout the streets of London, and it's a live action adventure, essentially treasure hunt. I think it would have taken me about 14, 15 touch points before I purchased that. But the point was, there was that repeat marketing, the repeat messaging, which is going out to me as a consumer, and which is going out indeed to quite a few consumers. And then you start having conversations with friends around you. You have that word of mouth process. You see it pop up on London recommendations, on frankly anywhere that you're following any form or source. And this omni-channel approach, not just with multiple storefronts, but with multiple levels of marketing and multiple levels of advertising, is really, really key to getting a consumer in, purchasing in the way that we want, and indeed coming back and trusting us from that perspective as well. So what are our takeaways? We've got those predicted trends. We think we're quite good at predictions, but this year and last year told us that predictions are sometimes hard to come by and hard to get right as well. Some of our takeaways are that online shopping processes absolutely improve as demand increases. And demand increased massively last year. It will continue to increase this year, not at the same scale if we are going back to physical stores. At the moment in London and the UK, obviously we're not. And so online shopping is the main driver behind how our stores and our online shopping experiences is gaining us revenue. This trend and predictions show that e-commerce will continue to grow. Sales will reach on a global level $4.5 trillion this year. If you remember the first webinar that we did last year, we were expected only to get over the $4 trillion mark for the first time in online shopping history. That's been boosted again by $500 billion. Quite a staggering change, and indeed shows that jump forward quite a few years in terms of e-commerce and the e-commerce market. However, we personally believe that the most important thing to take away is that online shopping now enjoys greater consumer trust. As an e-commerce platform, this is great news for us, and it's one of the reasons, particularly as e-commerce only has a 15% market share in retail in the UK at the moment. This is absolutely going to grow, already has grown quite significantly as well. Buying online, particularly for someone who doesn't do it consistently, can be a scary experience. And if a consumer has a bad experience, it can be very off-putting. However, the pandemic itself has forced people into spending money online, and this has given many consumers who would usually physically go to a store rather than purchase online a great insight into the e-commerce world as well. With this, I thought I'd take a little bit of an opportunity to show you a bit of our platform as well. So we are very much an all-in-one e-commerce platform, and we want users going forward, and we want consumers who are coming to e-commerce for the first time to really to really have that trust process. And I'm shocking at multitasking. So just as I get up our screen, you should be able to see a login screen. Well, sorry, not a login screen, our CMS function here as well. When I said we're an all-in-one e-commerce platform at the start of this call, it's very much entirely creating the journey of an e-commerce website. So we have this CMS functionality, which allows and facilitates the build and design and essentially complete upload of your website, whether it be through a different language like HTML, CSS, or Java, whether it be setting up your SEO tags, setting up certain images and creating content in a really excellent way. I'm sorry, I've been logged out of this for a little bit too long, so I'll come back into it here as well. Whether it be from an operator information, setting certain tags, setting URLs, making sure that it's completely SEO designed. You've got your OGP tag settings all designed perfectly. We want to facilitate and build really great websites. And we give you the ability to facilitate and build really great websites and indeed feature them from an e-commerce perspective in the exact way that you want to. Really pushy items that are selling well, build landing pages so that you can do easy testing and get it as high as you can, really push that increased purchasing. From there, we go into the e-commerce side of things as well, where that's primarily what we are as a business. We're an e-commerce platform. And so the management of the entire e-commerce ecosystem and relationship is a very big part of what we do as well. Whether it be creating information around a user so that we can paint a picture of the people who are coming into our online stores, who are purchasing from us and on a repeat perspective, whether it be creating order workflows and setting up shipping information, setting up real store information where I can see live stock levels, setting up my individual products and making sure that they're tagged in a really nice way, that they're selling, that they're bundling together, that we're increasing sales in whatever possible way that we can, whether it be linking with malls and social media sites, so that I can really take that omni-channel approach, which we saw is so crucial to the way that we sell, and take that omni-channel approach of managing our PPC ads, managing our social media, setting promotions, setting up novelty items, and creating settings that allow us to really push our side as much as possible. But it doesn't stop with just the CMS and the e-commerce side of things as well. We really want to focus, as I said, on increasing that repeat purchase. And there's two ways that we primarily do this, which is through our marketing planner functionality, where we essentially want to reward consumers for coming back to our store, whether that be creation of coupons, whether that be having certain rules around membership and member rank settings and giving points for purchases, really increasing that consumer loyalty, having target lists which we can push out, having tag management so that we can remarket to certain consumers as well, and seeing clear reporting of how our consumers' purchase habits are happening over time as well, which is very key and crucial. In addition to the standard stuff you'd use with Google Analytics, this gives you clear consumer purchase behavior habits as well. And finally, it comes into the customer support side of things, where we essentially have a full CRM system behind the scenes, which allows you to deal with any incidents if there are some. Ideally, we want to help you get to the point where there aren't any incidents, where you've got such a good relationship with your warehouses and your delivery companies. But of course, with all things, there will be incidents. There will be small issues, and we want to help you manage them throughout this system. We've got over 800 standard settings as well, but because we're an all-in-one platform, we can customize and develop areas that we don't have into the platform for you and make this as customized around your specifications as we possibly can, as well as obviously the major upgrades which happen quite consistently throughout the year based off what over 450 companies have told us so far. So I thought I'd share that very quickly with you as well. But just as we come to the end of our webinar, and sorry, I'll share my screen and share that PowerPoint again. To give me a moment, I do apologize. There we go. So we know that e-commerce is changing, and we know that it's ever increasing in terms of the online sales. We think this year in particular, e-commerce is going to grow consistently based off those areas of social commerce, based off those areas of omni-channel. We think, just like last year as well, that the companies that are able to adopt quicker those online strategies and change the way that they reach their consumers online are the ones that are going to benefit the most. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you do have any questions, I don't think I saw any in the chat so far, but feel free to get in touch. So our website is there. Feel free to give us a call there as well that's our main office number in London. Obviously, we're not in there at the moment, but we still have access to that number. And thank you for joining. We hope to hear from you soon.